Welcome back, America. It's Hugh Hewitt. This is a do-over because my favorite guest at ALEC, other than Lisa Nelson, is Danny Perez, and the Florida State legislator. And he was here yesterday with Dwayne when I was stuck in Newark. And I heard all about it, and I said, we can't have him. We can't have him on with Dwayne and not talk to him. So Danny is back. Danny, welcome. I'm sorry you had to put up with Dwayne yesterday. I'm sure it was awful. It's like having to do a marathon in 110 degrees, but you're back. And so thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me. I'm going to be honest. We held our own yesterday. We missed you, and your listeners missed you. But Dwayne and I, we kind of held our own. We were able to hang it, kick it. We were able to have some good conversation.
All right. Now, I could have fun with you for a long time, but I don't want to have fun with you. I want to find out about Florida education because, honest to goodness, in Newark, all I did was read Christopher Rufo, America's Cultural Revolution. Rufo is now on the board of New College, I believe. And New College is one of those stories that the left wants you to fail so badly. So what are you doing to higher ed? Then we're going to talk about primary ed and school choice. But what did you do at New College? Because the state set that up. The governor made it happen, Governor DeSantis, and it's a radical revolution. I want to know how applications are doing.
The truth is we wanted to apply free speech, and it's literally that simple. Because what was happening in New College before President Corcoran was appointed by the BOG, by the Board of Governors, to take over that college and be the president. By the way, former Speaker of the House in Florida. The only thing that people wanted to see at New College, that leadership and administration wanted to see at New College, were like-minded individuals as far left as you can get with absolutely no diversity, which is what they were trying to preach. They wanted the same person that was thinking the same way and speaking the same talking points. What we're doing is we're allowing free speech. We want everyone to have a seat at the table, and that includes the conservatives. We don't only want conservatives. If a liberal applies, they can come to New College as well. But that's completely different than what we had before Richard Corcoran got there, where not one conservative was able to freely speak their mind without being persecuted. And so what we're doing at New College is we're trying to instill conservative values for those that are willing to talk about it. Even if you're a liberal and you want to talk about it, it's okay. But this DEI pitch that's happening across the country, here in Florida, we're not going to stand for it. And at New College, we're going right at it.
First, the governor replaced the board, or the state legislature replaced the board. I'm not quite sure how it happened, but Matt Spalding, my friend, is on there. Rufo is on there. A bunch of great people. I'm not going to be upset that nobody called me. I'm not going to take that personally. But what happened to the application pool? Because what matters is how many people apply. That is the ultimate indicator of success of a college.
I have to tell you something. I want you to go back and watch the videos of the interviews of Richard Corcoran before he was chosen to be the president of New College. It was something out of a movie. There's going to be a Netflix documentary at some point about New College's turning a page. They were persecuting Richard Corcoran like you couldn't believe. And everyone said the school would absolutely fail, that no one wanted to go to a school that had the values of President Corcoran and Governor DeSantis and the leadership of New College. Well, surprise, surprise. Record applications have turned into New College to where now it's just a matter of how much more funding can we get to New College so we can grow the school to be as prosperous and as large as possible, because people are just lining up to get to New College to where we're actually at capacity. And now we're trying to figure out how we can move people around because we want everyone to come to Florida. And if New College is where they want to go, well, so be it. With the number one state university system in the country is here in Florida, in the country, number one.
No, wait. It's actually in Ohio, but we will discuss that another time. California is the worst. And I want to go back to what they used to play football down here, but Miami, Florida State, University of Florida, I don't know what happened to them.
Oh my gosh.
So let's talk about DEI generally in the higher ed. So you got an easy go yesterday. You're talking to a guy that doesn't know anything about sports. I know about sports. But I want to talk about the DEI, the anti-DEI, because what I did when I read Rufo's book, I said, my God, how do we undo this? There are 1 million DEI administrators at every level of American public education. Florida is the edge. Florida is making it happen. What are you going to do at Florida State? You're an alma mater or something.
I'm a Florida State guy. Yes, sir.
The Gators at Florida. My friend, Captain Vanderhoff, can't spell, he can ship, he can sail, stuff like that. He's a Florida guy. Miami used to play basketball, used to play football. What are you going to do about these state universities that are overwhelmed with DEI bureaucrats?
Unfortunately, I have to admit that the DEI thought process has infiltrated every single corner of this country, including Florida. And before last session started, if you would have gone on Florida State University, University of Florida, any university system and looked at a job application, within the details of that job application, you would have seen a paragraph about DEI and talking about their inside the application process, their thought process on what they thought DEI meant to them and how they were diverse in their own right. And that was part of the application process to become an employee of these universities. That has since changed. We have been able to infiltrate the university system and tell them that you need to hire the best person for the job. You don't need to hire someone because they abide by these DEI policies that, quite frankly, don't matter on how good or bad you can do at your job. Do we want diversity? Of course. I mean, look, I'm a Cuban guy. I'm as diverse as it gets. I'm a young Cuban guy who's a conservative in Miami, which is, historically a blue county, Miami-Dade County. So, of course, diversity is important, but that shouldn't be the wherewithal to where people can say this is the only reason you're going to get hired into the institution. So we've absolutely broken down into the university system and taken that out of our state school system. However, more importantly to your question, when talking about sports, Florida State University right now is about to take over the college football world. Mike Norvell, if you're not a believer, Hugh, if you're not a believer, I'm going to tell you something. When this show is over and you and Dwayne get in your little car, because it's a two-seater, I'm sure, probably a Mazda Miata, you put down the top, it's a little convertible. I can picture you guys rolling down the streets of Orlando in your Mazda Miata. I want you guys to talk about Florida State football because Mike Norvell is bringing back the Seminoles. Whether you know
who's listening right now? Urban Meyer's listening. You know what
That's
Urban
fine.
did? Urban left Florida to go to Ohio State because he knew where real football was played. But I digress. I want to go back to you've got to get your law schools back. Law schools are where we turn out radicals, right? And they only hire radicals. So you got to get a grip. The way that you took over New College is like and by you, I mean the Florida State government, the governor, backed by the legislature. I think you've legislated on DEI, haven't you? Have you demanded that the university stop? It's all unconstitutional as heck. It's completely unconstitutional. Have you demanded that they stop?
We've demanded it, and it's, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen it since our last session, which is when we were able to infiltrate the system and demand that we take that out of our university system. The law school process is very interesting because although it is part of the university system, it is the law school at Florida State, for example, it is part of the Florida State University. But when we're looking at the details of DEI and where it's infiltrated most, we're looking at just regular undergraduate body. The law schools sometimes at every university sometimes get left out. And to your point, it's probably where DEI is the worst.
Oh, it's the worst. Absolutely. There are 95% left wing, every law school in America.
Those are the most critical thinkers that we have in our state. They're at the law schools.
And you have to get controlled hiring. And you have to say, your faculty is not hiring, faculty is not governing. This is a taxpayer funded institution we're taking over.
Hugh, I'm going to ask you a question here because I've been battling this for a while. And what we're having here is a system where professors that are bad for the future generations of America are tenured and are staying there forever. And so the battle that we're having right here in Florida is how do we take that away from a professor who is just wrong for the next generation of America, but allowing our state universities to still compete with all the other universities in the country because we got to keep good professors here. But with these tenures that they're having, they're so safe that they go against the grain in a wrong way.
I am tenured. I'm a tenured member of the Fowler School of Law at Chapman University, and I treasure my tenure because I can say whatever I want and they can't throw me out. But I don't work for a state college. I work for a private college. And you can end tenure tomorrow in the legislature. You're the speaker designate, then you're the speaker. I know your job is political this year and then legislative really when you're speaker. Would you be so bold as to end tenure for law schools in Florida?
It has to be discussed. It has to be looked into. And I think it's a real option. I'm telling you, my only concern is if I have a Hugh Hewitt in a state university and I take away your tenure, some other university, Hillsdale, is going to come and pick you up in 2 seconds and put you in their university system as a tenured professor. And you're going to leave my state university before this show ends.
Good people never get fired. Good people never get fired. Bad people get fired. I wish people understood tenure is nice to have. And it's important in a left driven environment where they will persecute you, but lefties never fire lefties. It's true. By the way, how is Florida generally doing? Is it, rich state, poor state, you're number 2. Utah's got you beat. I think after school choice kicks in, you'll be number 1.
I hope so, but I don't know what I can do with Stuart Adams in front of me and Brad Wilson. I mean, they're just kicking butt over there in Utah. Yesterday I was talking. I said, if I leave Florida, which by the way I'm not, I got 2 little ones under 5 and another one on the way. They're not going anywhere. But if I leave, I'm going to Utah. I mean, that's such an impressive state. It really is.
You should look at Ohio. Ohio's actually better than Utah. Let me ask you about your little ones. Are they going to go to Catholic school? Are they going to go to private school? Or are they going to go to public school in Florida?
So I have my oldest at a Catholic school.
Good man.
And that's
the way to go.
My youngest one is at a Spanish school, started by actually a Mexican woman in Miami.
Is it a charter?
It is not. It's a private school, and it's all in Spanish. It's very important to me. As you know, my parents came from Cuba in 1969. In my house, we only speak Spanish. I tell my children now that they're learning English because they're going to school, I said, in school, you can speak English, but when you come home, you're talking to your parents in Spanish. So we've tried to instill that in them from an early
Danny,
age.
you know, the people that Christopher Rufo write about, they think Castro's a hero.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, all of them, from Marcusa to Angela Davis, all the people who have infiltrated the DEI world, they all think Castro is a hero. They don't know. I mean, we have a generation of illiterates because they've been taught by leftists.
I would invite them, tell them to give me a call, and I would invite them, go down 90 miles south of Key West. I'll drop you off, and then good luck coming back, because you're not coming back. First, they won't let you out of the country, and number two, you will be miserable within 30 minutes of you landing. There are no human rights. Forget about the basic necessities of food and water. There's a line to get a piece of bread. This is 2023.
Let me ask you something. During the Obama years, the Deputy National Security Advisor, a guy named Ben Rhodes, who said on a podcast recently, he lives inside my head. I think it's the reverse. He went to Castro's funeral to honor him. What? And he's number 2 guy on the National Security Council. What do you think that means? That he's just as stupid as a brick?
It is. You know what, Hugh? I think you said it right. It's stupid. I mean, he's a person who doesn't know what the reality of a Cuban person in Cuba really, really means. There's a reason that people are risking their lives to get on a raft. Hugh, we're not talking about getting on an airplane with air conditioning and first class service where they bring you some water and peanuts. We're talking about getting on a raft.
Okay, we got a minute. How did you get the Venezuelans and the Puerto Ricans and every other new American to vote red in the last election cycle?
I have been saying this for a long time, and I'm not the only one. The Republican Party truly is the party for all. It really is the greatest tent. You know why? Because we sell opportunity. We're not going to give you a damn thing, but we're going to give you every opportunity under the sun, and we're going to create the options for you to have those opportunities. We're the only party that does that. The Hispanics see it.
Danny Perez, it is great seeing you.